I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear.
Hey, what's up, people? This next video, man, it's pretty much is a current event report. It's about the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I stayed in Minneapolis, Minnesota for like 5 years. All right, I bought homes there, sold them, and everything. My direct location where I lived at was Columbia Heights, Minnesota. That's like probably 15-25 minutes away from downtown Minneapolis. Now, I witnessed with my own eyes driving home, some police brutality against, some young kids. Like, it was one time at the Twins baseball stadium in front of it. It's a bus stop to sit on the side. And one time it was like 3 police cars pulled up. I thought they was after somebody that was on the street afterwards. These cops, it was like 6 of them hopped out, grabbed these 2 kids up that was at the bus stop, and really brutally beat them to the point where it was like blood stains all on the side of the baseball stadium on the outside on the sidewalk. So this video right here is just and that event happened in 2017. That's the reason why I'm doing a reaction to this video. So here we go.
President of the Minneapolis Police Union is being pressured to resign after sending a controversial letter to members. The city's police department has a history of racial issues. Its own statistics reveal that its officers are more likely to use excessive force against black people than white people. Jamie Yukas reports.
Do you think there is an issue of systemic racism within the police department?
I think there's an issue of systemic racism in every police department.
Jeanne Harteau is the former chief of Minneapolis Police. About 20% of the city's population is black. But according to department data analyzed by the New York Times, Minneapolis police use force against black people at 7 times the rate of white people.
Every day, every year, we're the only people here looking for justice is just us black people.
Before George Floyd's death prompted national outcry, prosecutors drew criticism for declining to file charges against 2 Minneapolis police officers in 2018 for the deadly shooting of 31-year-old Thurman Blevins. Police said they believe Blevins, who fled with a loaded handgun, posed an immediate threat to officer safety.
No justice, no peace.
3 years earlier, Jamar Clark was also shot and killed by Minneapolis police. Police said he was trying to grab a gun and charges were never filed.
There is a problem with policing in the city of Minneapolis.
Jeanne Harteau stepped down as the city's police chief in 2017 after another deadly police shooting. She's now among the chorus of voices, including several Minnesota labor organizations, calling on police union head Robert Kroll to resign. Earlier this week, he claimed in a letter that the officers charged in George Floyd's killing were fired without due process.
Do you think it's fair to point the finger strictly at Lieutenant Bob Kroll?
No, but I do think it begins with Bob Kroll. He is the loudest voice.
All of our actions, they have an impact.
In 2017, Madaria Arredondo took over for Harteau, becoming Minneapolis's first black police chief. But a decade earlier, he and 4 other officers filed a discrimination lawsuit against the department, claiming it systemically and continuously discriminated in favor of white persons and subjected black officers to a hostile work environment. The complaint also accused Kroll of making racist statements and wearing a motorcycle jacket with a white power badge. The city settled the lawsuit for $740,000 without admitting liability.
We reached out to Lieutenant Kroll for comment but have not heard back. We should also mention that Kroll is married to an anchor at our Minneapolis station WCCO TV, and they say she has not reported on the department or union issues for at least 2.5 years. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Minneapolis.
That news report was, very disturbing in a way, because Minneapolis, Minnesota in general, is the 3rd racist state in America. The third Midwest racist state in America. They still live by laws by the 70s and the 60s where, and the cars haven't even changed either. They're still black and white there. This is how crazy it is. Being African American in the inner city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, you are always target. It don't matter where you go. You always target. Mistaken identities, all that. Sometimes they will chase a kid down that's, a teenager down that got a criminal past and will beat them. And especially on the north side of Minneapolis. It's really bad over there. The south side is somewhat cool, but at the end of the day, the south side lands downtown Minneapolis. So if you get caught from the south side by the cops even going towards downtown, you automatically gonna get messed with. The north side, the cops is always around there. I had this young kid named Eric Bernard. Eric, he was the younger brother of a gang leader, but Eric, he never really got involved with the streets at all. And one time, Eric went to this house party on the north side of Minneapolis on 21st and Hennepin to be exact. And the cops end up showing up there, which is they supposed to show up around the corner to a raid house, but they seen a bunch of people outside, which is a bunch of kids, and they opened fire on Eric by leaving him paralyzed from the waist down. Even to this day, he's in the hospital. I mean, not in the hospital, but he's in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. He got shot in his back when he was 16 years old and got paralyzed to the waist down. He had to go to his high school graduation like that. There's been several killings of young kids from, the police department of Minneapolis, Minnesota, for over 15 years. Now, that 15, I stayed there for 5 years. So just imagine what I seen on my way home. BZ995, WCE Radio. Peace. I'm out.
I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything. Anybody or anything. Anybody or anything. Anybody or anything. Anybody or anything.
Cornmeal.